Trump has literally been targeted again. He's doing he's doing one of his rallies. They were doing the sweeps around, and thank God they did this, because remember, they didn't do this for the golf course where he was almost assassinated, but they did do this for the rally. They found a car bomb beside the road where the rally was being held at. I've got the video to show you exactly where the car was at. This is so bad. Trump's safety is at stake. There's been leaked details that the Secret Service, again, did not use drones to surveil the area before Trump went out to play golf at the Trump International Golf Course, just like they didn't use drones to help make sure that he was secure in Butler, Pennsylvania. The Secret Service has a lot of explaining to do, but we'll get into the details that they have today. The Democrats have said they are willing to let the government shut down because they don't want voter IDs in the law. This tells you where their priorities lie and that they are willing to forego putting America first because they want to allow for non-citizens to vote in some form or fashion because they won't allow voter ID require that. We also have it where the Biden administration has literally granted mass parole to over 1 million illegal immigrants today. That's getting free housing assistance, free cell phones, free internet, free Medicare, free health care. They're trying to fly this under the radar. Somebody picked it up, and now they're trying to get them to be able to vote by November 5th. So lots of big breaking news today. Just want to say thank you to everybody that is watching. This is huge, huge breaking news. Trump was targeted again. Check it out.
To the second assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. Mr. Speaker, I know that you were with the former president just moments after the attempt on his life on Sunday. What did you make of his mood? I know it takes a lot to rattle this man, but how is he doing?
Listen, he is an incredible, singular figure in American history. My wife and I, Kelly and I, were happy to be at Mar-a-Lago to meet with him. We spent almost 3 hours with him immediately following the assassination attempt. He was completely unrattled. He's the same steady Donald Trump. Here's the thing about him. There's never been a leader in American history who has been so aggressively attacked and yet remains 100%. So resilient and so strong. Donald Trump is fighting for the American people, and there's not anything they can do, even taking shots at the man, that will deter him. And so that's why we love him so much, and that's why we're supporting him, and that's why he's going to help us lead to save this republic.
There are reports out there this morning, Mr. Speaker, that you contacted the White House yesterday to ask why Donald Trump's protection detail hasn't been beefed up. Are those reports true?
This is huge.
Absolutely. I called the White House directly, and I demanded that President Trump get the same level of protection that the sitting president has. He's under so much threat, more than anybody, probably in the modern era, if ever. We have to make sure that the Secret Service is getting the job done. And if they have a personnel problem and we need to supplement it with local and state law enforcement, let's do that. If Congress needs to add a little bit more funding, let's do that. Whatever it takes, get the job done and protect President Trump, for crying out loud.
Okay, couple of questions. You announced yesterday that you're expanding the investigation into assassination attempt number 1 to include assassination attempt number 2. So now Butler, PA and West Palm Beach, Florida will get the same attention. When does the public start to get questions answered? And I'm talking about basic questions. We look at the guy who would be assassin number 2, Ryan Ruth in West Palm Beach. Here are just a couple questions. How does an unemployed roofer living in Hawaii afford a flight to Florida, afford flights to Washington, D.C. over the last several months, and Ukraine? Don't forget, this guy's a Ukraine fanatic. Who's paying for all this? Where was he staying in Florida? Where did he get that Nissan SUV? Where did he get the gun? This is somebody who had a weapons of mass destruction arrest on his record. So if he bought this gun, how did he do that? And how did he know Donald Trump was going to be on the golf course on Sunday morning? That was not part of his public calendar. Again, Mr. Speaker, I know that you're pressing for these answers, but we just passed 60 years since Kennedy was killed, and more than 80% of Americans think that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't act alone. John Wilkes Booth did not act alone. When are we going to start to get answers to just basic questions?
Great, Rob. You're exactly right. The reason I put together that task force and that they're moving so aggressively is because we don't want this to be like a Kennedy assassination conspiracy thing. We've got to get the answers to the American people. Mike Kelly is the chairman of the task force. He is from Butler, Pennsylvania. He served in Congress for many years. He's got steady hands on the wheel. We did a quick presser yesterday with Hill Press Corps, but they're going to be beginning now weekly press availability to explain the answers that are coming in as they are gathered. You asked some of the right questions. That's some on pages of questions that we have about this. And the thing about this second attempt is we have the shooter live in custody. That's a very rare thing. So we will be able to get those answers and get them to the American people. The main principle here is we have to ensure that the massive security lapses that happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, and obviously some lapses that happened on Sunday in Florida never happen again. That's the thing.
Isn't it sad, though, that it takes Representative Mike Johnson to call the White House to tell Biden to get them and the team to actually get more Secret Service for Trump? Like, that's how bad it is in this politics game. And I'm about to show you the article of where they found the explosives in the car that was going to be a car bomb at the Trump rally. This is bad.
Got to make sure that Trump is protected and all of our officials are protected. And that's why the task force is doing this really important work. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to ask if you have any concerns about Ryan Ruth's safety between now and trial. Again, I brought up Lee Harvey Oswald, and I bring that up because he never made it to trial after the Kennedy assassination. Do you have any concerns there?
Well, I think we all have concerns, Rob, but I do believe that given the past history of all this, there's very careful custody of this individual. He has a lot of information that we all need, and to secure the president and the former president and everyone going forward, we've got to learn what we can from this individual. I think he'll be well protected. I certainly hope and demand that that's true. But in the meantime, the task force is doing really deliberate work. They've already collected thousands of documents regarding the Butler, Pennsylvania event. They've questioned 23 witnesses already, and they're going to be preparing reports. But before the final report is produced, there'll be information forthcoming now every week now here forward. This is serious business. It's gotten the attention of the whole world.
Yes.
We've got to make sure we do this right.
All right.
Big time. And I'm telling you, this is huge, what I'm about to show you right here. But I want to say real quick, thank you, Brenda Burciago, for the super chat. Such a blessing every time y'all bless us. Everybody show Brenda some love in the chat. Also, Tracy Garner, welcome to the True Life News family, as well as Tina Marie L. Y'all show them some love in the chat, everybody, because we all make this come together. We all make this come alive, and we all represent that freedom that the United States represents. But right here, you see cops find the explosives in a car near Trump rally on the Long Island after second assassination attempt. They're coming after him big time. They're not going to stop. That's why he needs the most Secret Service he can get. He needs the most protections. Go buy a dang drone at Walmart so that Trump can be protected. Because if not, something really bad is going to happen and people are going to get hurt. And it's like, they keep dropping the ball. Nobody's getting fired, but they actually got promoted. The people that have been protecting Trump actually got promoted. It's crazy. Today, listen to this.
Made the management of the Secret Service. Folks, people just got promotions yesterday. There is a division of the Secret Service. You have protective intelligence, investigations. You have basically their internal affairs. Then you have protective operations. Protective operations is the branch of the Secret Service that runs, guess what? Protective operations. Shocker. Dude, what a coincidence. Do you realize yesterday the promotion list came out and all of the people on that in that protective operations branch got promoted? The deputy assistant director to assistant director. One of the assistant directors is now the deputy director. If you're scratching your head saying, what the needs to happen here? I keep telling you, nothing is going to happen. Not with the Biden team, because they never fire anyone. They don't want you to know how incompetent the government is, how the Secret Service management has failed, so they just let this happen. More breaking news from Susan Crabtree, who's one of the few reporters who's been all over this Secret Service story. This is just, I'm trying to really tamp down This is astonishing. Did we not on this show tell you after Butler County, Pennsylvania, that if you don't have aerial dominance from a surveillance point of view and from an aerial dominance point of view, in that you can keep an aerial threat like a drone, say a small plane that wants to crash in your site. How many times did we tell you after Butler County, if you don't have aerial dominance, you don't own the site? Did you all, folks in the chat, did you hear my show over and over? You don't own the air and you don't own what's underground. If there is something underground, like in New York, where we have subways and stuff, then you don't own your site.
Yes.
This is crazy. This is like nuts. Like we have to mention movies and stuff because the Secret Service's lack of imagination. You ever see that movie? You guys ever see that movie Salt with Angelina Jolie? Mm-hmm. She's the Russian assassin. How does she get the Russian president? Do you remember the movie? She goes underground in the subway, detonates, and he falls through the ground. It's insane that we've got to start citing movies to say to the Secret Service, you know that kind of stuff can happen, right? You don't get paid to think, will it happen? You get paid to think, can it happen?
Yes.
Because if it can happen, you have to think of a way to freaking stop it. Drone surveillance using thermals and IR will pick out a guy on a roof and a guy in a wood line.
100%.
How do you not know this? Susan Crabtree tweet from what Ron Rose said yesterday. The Secret Service did not have a drone flying to surveil the golf course before discovering a man was lying in the bushes for 12 hours with a rifle pointed at Donald Trump. A source in the Secret Service community said someone asked why the drones weren't used on Sunday, and Secret Service leadership said they weren't needed and they did a good job. Oh, we got to take a break. I mean, leave the stream, but I genuinely don't know what to tell you right now. I don't because I can't fix this. The Biden team's not interested, obviously, in anything I have to say because of my politics, which I understand. The Secret Service is obviously not interested in anything I have to say, despite having seen every angle of this. Having seen the political side, the security side, the PPD side, the training side. I'm telling you with certainty, this is not even the last incident today, the one that happened today. There are going to be more. Because the people running the Secret Service say this. I've told you, I've been through this before. When they threw the grenade on stage at President George W. Bush, for 2 weeks, there was because they overran the magnetometers. For 2 weeks, they were like, we got to get more magnetometers. And then you know what happened 2 weeks later? They went right back to normal. You know what's going to happen after assassination 1? What happened after assassination attempt 2? They went right back to normal. You know what's going to happen after the bombs are found today? Nothing. In 2 weeks, going to go right back to normal. I don't know what to tell you guys. If you're sitting there going, Dan, someone's going to get killed. Yep. Here, I want to read you something. This is important. What's that?
This is big.
Someone's talking to him? Oh, well, yeah, Corey compared it to a voice guy. I want to read this to you. This is very important. This is from an agent friend of mine. Because I want you to know that it is the management doing this. The guys on the ground do not want to be there with a freaking bomb next to them or a sniper in the wood line. I know we're sick of this, especially with the FBI, and I get it. Oh, the rank and file, I understand. I'm telling you, in this case, it's true. You think an agent with a wife and kids who wants to go see his kid's birthday party or the soccer game wants to be sitting there with a guy with an SKS in the wood line? This is from a friend in the Secret Service.
In the
very
Secret
familiar,
Service.
let's just say.
Because one thing I have to say is just imagine you're there and you're like, all right, Trump's going to go play some golf. We got to protect him. What's protocol? All right, we need to probably fly a drone. No, we're not going to do that. We're supposed to fly a drone. That's protocol. We got to check the perimeter. No, don't worry about it. And then the other person, wait, don't we always fly drones? Don't worry about it, guys. We're just going to go through. It's nobody knows about it, so he'll be fine. He'll be okay. Don't worry about it. That's how these conversations are happening, because listen to this, what a person from the Secret Service has actually told Bongino.
Let your audience know that the good, brave, dedicated agents who gave their hearts, souls, and health to the Secret Service are disgusted with the state of the management. They're a disgrace to you mentioned some really good agents. Good men who live with the embarrassment of the current incompetence every day. Pardon the language here, but this is his words, and I'd be remiss if I didn't read them directly. Clowns, let him quit, let him twist. Keep sticking it to him, Dan. Thanks, bro. Obviously not going to say who it is. So, folks, I'm sorry, but don't tell me this is everyone. It is not. These guys are tired of a management team who won't give them the assets. A guy sent me an email during my radio show yesterday, or a message on the Rumble account. And he said, Dan, the way I find my dog in the woods, he lives in a wooded area, is I send a drone up with a thermal. And I find out where the dog is in 30 seconds. To the Secret Service management, I know you watch my show. What is it going to take for you to engage in a cranial rectotomy and pull your head out of your... and realize that you're going to get the guy killed, the guy being Donald Trump?
This is so real.
And you're issuing promotions yesterday? I don't know what to tell you. And yet the Secret Service management, guys like Ron Rowe and others, will make these little snide attacks directed at me just because someone wore the badge. Maybe I know what I'm talking about and you're freaking incompetent. Does that ever occur to you? Maybe if you would have listened to me about the drones because I'm my head at my end, then you wouldn't have had a guy hiding in the wood line for 12 hours.
I want to turn
Maybe
now.
if you would have pushed out your perimeter, you wouldn't have found some explosives again today.
Right there. Hey, big dog.